to transition ourselves to a more upper body warm-up. Just as important it is to warm up our ankles, hips, and glutes, it's just as important to warm up our upper body as well. So what we're going to do today is a couple different exercises that we use in weight room to warm up our upper body. One of the most universal ones that I've used for years is called the 4-way raise. And what it is, you just stand feet shoulder width apart with some light weight. You can use dumbbells, it doesn't matter, sandbags, whatever you want to use, just something very light. What we're going to do is 4 different motions. That's why it's called 4-way raise. All right, so the first one is a side raise, nice and slow and controlled. Thumbs up, okay, nice, looking like a cross, and then back down. Then we're going to do forward motion, same thing, thumbs up, and back down. From there, we're going to rotate to an upright row, big, high elbows, big and tall, back down, and then just a shrug with a 1-second hold. Then we're going to start back over, side, front, shrug, upright row. We want to make sure we're upright, tight core, nice base, focusing on our shoulder movement, focusing on our upper body. We'll probably hit anywhere between 10 and 15 of each. Side, front, shrug, upright row. Once we hit 10 to 15 of those, we're going to move into what's called the Y and W's. For the sake of space, I'm just going to use this wall. What we're going to do here is we're going to form W's and Y's. What I want to make sure I try to do is try to connect myself to this wall as much as possible. My heels, my calves, my hamstrings, my glutes, my low back, my upper back, my elbows, my head. Everything should be trying to touch in this wall as much as possible. We're going to come down. This forms a W. I'm going to try to get my elbows to the sides of my body, and then I'm going to come up and form my Y position, reaching as high as I possibly can, and then back down. High as I possibly can, and then back down. Once again, I'm trying to connect as many parts of my body as possible. Okay. Alright, the next exercise we're going to do is what we call Scapula Folds, working on our back and shoulders. What we're going to do is kick a nice tight core, get on about a 45-degree angle here with our hands out in front of us. Once again, thumbs up through all these exercises. We're going to do 3 different planes of motion. We're going to do a front with a 1-second hold. We're going to do a side with a 1-second hold, and we're going to do a back with a 2nd hold. When I do these movements, the first thing I'm focusing on is getting a big scapula. So I'm going to pinch my shoulders back and making sure it's tight. So then when I get into the motion, I'm focusing on just that one body part, and that's the scapula. Side, front. The last exercise we're going to do is called internal-external rotation, working on strengthening the rotator cuff, making sure that's warmed up. A lot of rotator cuff injuries in sports, so we want to make sure that we try to strengthen that as much as possible. When we do this motion, the biggest and most key point is to make sure you get full range of motion. Too many times athletes don't do full range of motion, which can actually hamper them and make them more prone to injury. So we want to make sure we get full range of motion. Pretty light. We're not trying to pull this too tight. We want to make sure we're getting something out of the workout. Well, first thing we're going to do is externally rotate our shoulder back, trying to make sure we get full range of motion. My elbows tucked into the side of my body, and we're going to internally rotate the band to the side of my body. My elbow should not move. Sometimes I have the athletes hold onto their elbow to make sure that they're not letting it get away from their body or rotating the entire body. Facing you the whole time, I have a tight core, and nothing else moves besides my hand and forehand. If I'm feeling my shoulder, I can feel this rotating side to side. Once again, full range of motion, going to get 10 to 15 reps. Good, nice, slow and controlled movements. Then what I'll usually do is go into the left hand and come across the body over here. The last exercise we're going to do today is external rotation. Almost the same drill, it's the same motion, but we're going to externally rotate against the resistance of the band. So we're going to stand feet shoulder width apart, nice tight base, keep our elbow tucked away, full range of motion, externally rotate as far as we can, and then back. Externally rotate as far as we can, and then back. You can see I don't have great range of motion. My hand should be trying to get perpendicular to my body, so it's coming straight out. I can't quite get there. I'm about 20 degrees short, but that's okay. I'm working at it. I'm trying to get that full range of motion. Great rotator cuff exercise. All these exercises are very important in the upper body to make sure we get loose before we bench press, push press, do any type of shoulder work to make sure that our upper body can prevent injury in the weight room.